Everybody has an opinion.
No, I don't think so.
I employ that bloke for when gigs are going bad.
You look incredibly rock and roll.
How would you cook that?
Be more entertaining. I'm glad you like that. It's a little bit of weed.
Bam.
Bam, bam,
Welcome
31.
back. 31, episode 31, guys. Welcome back. And we're joined by a very special guest today. Most know him by Jack Levi. Some know him by Elliot Goblet. He's a mate of the show. Welcome, Jack.
Thank you. And as Elliot Goblet would say, it's great to be inside your podcast.
Yes.
That's Elliot.
I think, honestly, I think more people know you as Elliot Goblet because you were on Hey Hey It's Saturday quite a few times. You do a lot of, you're still active in both comedy and also MC. So Elliot Goblet's probably well known by millions of people. And Jack Levi probably can sneak around and buy dim sims at the South Melbourne market pretty easily without being recognised, I reckon.
That's right, exactly. Yes, Elliot Goblet had all the TV exposure and Jack Levi had very little. But, yeah, Hey, it's Saturday.
Okay, here we go.
Well, 29 shows with Daryl Somers. There was 8 Daryl Somers shows on the Tuesday night. And then when that finished, I moved ahead with Hey to the evenings and did 21 of those. So in total, 29 with Daryl Somers.
Yeah, wow.
But in total, I've done over 60 stand-up comedy spots on national television. 11 midday shows, a few big gigs and a few Tonight shows with Steve Vizard and other specials. So over 60, in fact 62,
Ooh.
And I've got the documentary evidence to prove it.
I think that needs to be on the underside of a VB bottle cap.
That'd have to be a big beer.
It would be. That's incredible. And throughout that time, because I'm a little bit older than our millennial here,
I've noticed that.
Lily, I saw hairstyles change. So I saw the goatee. Well, firstly, head of hair and the goatee. Then I saw the goatee disappear and it was painted on one day.
It was, I just got sick of having the goatee beard.
Yeah.
I got tired of that look and got rid of it, but needed to retain the image. So I was painting it on with eye makeup, mainly eye pencil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was it. With the hair, yes, it was a big crop of hair and now I've got a shaved head. I guess you could say it's the recession I had to have.
That's right. And that's why probably Elliot Goblet's a bit more famous because you don't have the goatee nor that lock of black hair that Elliot Goblet used to have.
That's right. Yeah, the appearance has changed, but the character is still there.
Yes.
And were you, Elliot, I guess.
Yeah.
Am I recalling correctly? I feel like when I was around 10 years old, you were nominated for an ARIA. So it would have been around 2000-ish?
Exactly,
Yeah.
yes. I was nominated for an ARIA award and didn't win it.
That sucks.
And Greg Champion was also nominated. He didn't win it. Chris Franklin was nominated. He didn't win it. So the winner was Guido Hatzis. So we all reckon that there was a bit of corruption amongst the judges.
Oh. What was the Guido Hatzis? So,
With his prank calls, a very funny album.
Yeah, mate, you put the ad in the paper for the plumber?
Yeah, that's right.
Mate, I will take the job, all right?
Guido Hatzis.
Tony Moclair is his real name and he's on some radio station right now.
Oh. Yeah.
If I'd won that ARIA, I'd be doing that radio show right now, I reckon.
Oh, you reckon?
That'd be the pattern. Win the ARIA award back in 2000 and get a job on 3AW.
Oh, all the high life.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer that every choice makes a fork somewhere in the universe. So I do believe somewhere in a parallel universe that did happen, and you are now doing that radio show instead of here with us on This Week in Comedy.
Yeah, well, who could contest that logic?
Mate, how much you prepared to pay me?
Alrighty, guys, bit of news to get cracking. Mel Brooks turned 100 years old on the 28th of June. His comedy legacy includes The Producers, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein and Spaceballs.
Ludicrous speed.
Now, he is one of the few entertainers who has won a Grammy, an Oscar, an Emmy and a Tony. He's done it all. And then he died.
No, he's still alive.
He's 100 now. He's still alive. But you never know. You might have called it.
I think no, do you know who calls it? No one's going to know this. Is Trisha Paytas. Every time she has a baby, it's someone dies. The Pope, Michael Jackson. Anyway.
Oh, right. Okay. She's not pregnant at the moment.
We know of.
Not expecting. Okay. No. Mel Brooks, he's very slapstick. Were you a fan of Mel Brooks?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah. Great. Very funny movie. Blazing Saddles in particular, I thought. Yeah.
And I think he was also in The History, the one where they played chess as humans and he's the king. It's very slapstick. It's very
Not that one with
History of the
Robin
World.
Williams.
Is it History of the World?
History of the World Part
One or Part 2 or
It
both?
was
Yeah.
something like that. And they
Yeah.
never made another one. Look, it's slapstick. It's very 80s. And in fact, you wouldn't be able to say a lot of the jokes in this modern woke age.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bishop jumps queen.
But he's 100, so he can say anything he wants, really.
Yeah, sorry to put the jinx on you there, mate.
Yeah, you couldn't have a movie with a baked beans scene today, could you? No, you couldn't do that.
No. Or Stacks on the Queen. Anyway, that scene is a little bit troubling in this modern age.
Night jumps queen.
Jim Owen is touring Australia with his new show, Ballyhoo. The tour begins at Canberra Theatre Centre on the 11th of July. Later dates include WA, Victoria, Queensland and New South Wales. Any Jim Owen stories?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of Jim Owen shows, and I'd tell you what, his selection of a support act is brilliant. Jim Owen and Bob Franklin together. They're really a couple of headliners in the one show there. Yeah.
Yeah, Jim Owen's amazing. He can make a place on the stage, a position on the stage funny.
So I'm just like to try and find out the funniest part of the stage.
Very different than slapstick. It's almost intellectual in a bizarre way, and yet simple. Eyebrows. He can make a whole 5 minutes about eyebrows.
Something I couldn't do with my deadpan expression.
Was that part of the challenge of Elliot Goblet, that because he's a one-liner comedian or one-liner character, and again, like you just said, limited facial expressions. I mean, you could move your eyes, but you couldn't smile.
Yeah.
Although sometimes on Hey Hey, I noticed you, there's a little bit of a smirk.
A little bit of a smirk, and sometimes I'd get a round of applause for a little smirk. How easy was that?
There we go.
Yeah.
The inner Jim Owen.
The whole thing about Elliot Goblet is very understated in manner, but overstated in matter. So I'm talking about grandiose things, doing this and doing that and having an exciting life, but that really contradicted with the appearance of the man.
Yeah.
And that was where I got a lot of my laughs from, the contradiction.
Yeah.
You mentioned Bob Franklin. I still quote one of his lines from Bad Eggs, I think it was, every day, where he just goes, chicka chow. And I just find it such a funny, every time I see something good, I say chicka chow and I think of Bob Franklin. And you mentioned Bob Franklin, so I had to bring it up.
Absolutely.
There you go, Bobby. If you, I think I might have met him at a gig once and I told him that, and his reaction was just like, cool. Very non-impressed.
Very cool, laid-back sort of guy.
Very much so. Very.
I tell you what, he's got a line that starts with, ego is not a dirty word, but, and it's he uses crude language in that line, but it's in context. And I used to run the Crimson Goat Cabaret Club, which was prior to the Rubber Chicken Cabaret Club, and Bob Franklin's line, that particular line, got one of the biggest laughs we've ever had over 30 shows.
Yeah.
A very sophisticated crowd, but they really got into the humour of that particular line, even though it used a crude word.
So you're saying you can swear as long as it's contextually relevant.
Absolutely, yep.
Yeah.
I mean, I use that 4-letter word once in my act, and but it's in context, gets a laugh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The F one or the C one?
The F1, yeah.
Okay.
Naughty, I didn't want to use it here on your podcast because it might sully your podcast and you guys might be thrown out forever.
Well, no, Lily will sully it multiple times, I think. She's the potty mouth in this relationship.
Guilty. Guilty. Speaking of potty mouths, Scottish comedian Stuart Kennedy has said that Australians have the best sense of humour based on some very ad hoc research that he's conducted around insulting a number of countries on social media. So essentially the premise was that he insulted a bunch of different countries in different reels, and he judged the reactions based on how offended those countries were. So the ranking was, unsurprisingly, Australians were the least offended. We're pretty chill. Belgians came after. Middle ground was the Saudis and Iran. They were sort of offended, but not too bad. Who do you reckon came last?
Well, I know the answer because I reached out to him. But Jack, which
country came last?
And it's related to football, the current countries in the football. So so it can't be Italians because they didn't make it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not the USA, surely. No.
Wasn't the USA?
Wasn't.
No.
Okay. Not Paraguay or.
No, it was the Poms.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fine.
And he's Scottish, so he's qualified.
Yep.
There's technically a POM, aren't they? They're part of the UK. Yes, they are.
Yeah, they are. Still, they are still. Yeah.
Yes, barely.
There you
holding
go.
on.
Yeah.
So there it is. Not scientific research by any means, but very interesting comparisons.
The one that he used to find out whether Australians had a sense of humour, he essentially it was called the way that he did the joke, because he's a comedian himself. He said he essentially set it up so that you thought he was talking about Australians. So he mentioned there's a game between Australia and America, or the USA. This country is well known for its convict history. It's blah, 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 blah. And you're expecting him to say Australia, but he says, and the other country is Australia. It's essentially implying that America is currently full of convicts today. And the Americans didn't take it that badly, but the Australians loved it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you've got to have some sort of sense of humour as an American in this day and age, right?
Did Elliot Goblet ever get to the States?
Yes, twice, but the second time was part of an Australian group comedy tour. It was an 8-week tour where they selected a few Australians like myself and Wendy Harmer and Glynn Nicholas and Los Trios Ringbarkus to do a tour, an 8-week tour, 8 cities in 8 weeks.
Right.
I did 7 of those weeks because the other week coincided with my appearance at the Montreal Festival in 1989. So, I felt very privileged to be selected for that.
Yeah, right. And Glynn Nicholas.
Yeah, Glynn Nicholas. His rapport with audiences is second to none. Well, it was on that tour.
Yeah.
Because he'd done so much busking, he knew how to interact and get people to like him.
Yeah, that's right.
Because his kind of survival at busking depended on his likability. So he was great at getting rapport from audiences. Yeah.
And his busking career began in Hindley Street, South Australia, didn't it? Adelaide.
Correct, yeah. And around about the mid-'80s, I think. So in 1989, it was only 3 or 4 years into his career that he was touring America.
Yeah, incredible.
And we had an American as a headliner. So we would do our acts, and then an American would do the headlining. And Jeff Dunham was one of those headliners.
Right.
Yeah. He's a very famous ventriloquist.
Yep.
Yep.
There we go. And Glynn he's from Wales, actually. He's a
the Welsh.
A 10-pound pom.
That's right. Glynn with a Y. Yeah. He
Glenn.
does a bit of producing as well. He's living. I caught up with him in Adelaide recently, near Glenelg, which is where he lives, and we had a great time. Yeah,
fantastic,
funny guy.
He is amazing.
Top bloke,
talented, mimes, very good at mime too. You know, I have a joke in my act where I say I'm feeling pretty good about myself right now because I just came first in a mimed yodeling competition. And that gets a laugh because I actually do the action of opening and closing my mouth with no sound. And then I follow it with, I just like to say I do all of my own choreography. So, just a little bit of visual stuff to give people a break from the one-liners.
Did you ever struggle earlier in your career in not breaking, like not making yourself break, or do you not laugh at yourself? Because I would find it very, watching you, I find it so funny. I don't know if I could do that really deadpan without laughing at myself.
Yeah, well, I think when I started, because it happened all so quickly for me, there was a bit of fear involved, getting up in front of a television. And 10 months after I started in comedy, I was doing national television regularly, on the Daryl Somers show. So there was a bit of fear involved there. So that fear helped me to retain my deadpan expression. Also, deadpan comes easy to me. I did acting classes in 1980 and the female teacher told me at the end of the course, she said, Jack, you're never going to make it because you can't show any facial expression. So, you're never going to make it as an actor. So I listened to what she said and sort of that was the seed really for me to get going.
The superpower of anxiety harnessed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not bad.
Well articulated.
That's a glass half full mentality.
Yeah.
Listeners. Deputy Editor and Performing Arts Editor Richard Watts has announced he will be leaving ArtsHub next month after an illustrious 17-year career with the company. He started in 2009 and wrote more than 2,000 articles across reviews, features, interviews and industry news. What do you reckon his next move is going to be?
Triple R. So he already has a show on Triple R. Mm-hmm. That's the, what we call community radio station here in Melbourne.
Yes.
Victoria. It introduces a lot of new new musicians, but also a lot of new comedians. Actually, a lot of them start as hosts on Triple R, but I guess before podcasts came along and you could start producing yourself. So he'll be on there, continuing on with his love of music. He told me personally, so that's how I know.
Excellent.
Got some inside goss.
Inside goss.
Yeah, but I was wondering, I was trying to pull out of him, and maybe, Jack, you know, whether or not he got the job for the CEO of the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. I thought, but then I looked at his resume and it was a little bit too much on the literature writing side, a little less on the events management production side. But any goss, any names come across your desk in terms of potential CEO Melbourne Comedy Festival?
Well, it's yet to be decided, is it?
That's
Well,
right.
I've got my favourite that I'd like to see get the job, but so I'm hoping that he does actually.
If I know who you're talking about, I believe he doesn't.
He doesn't.
No.
Damn.
I know. I think he got knocked out. But aside from that one random person, any other names?
No,
come
I just
across?
had my focus on that one person. So no, I just hope that whoever they put on does a very different job to what we've had in the past. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't go any more in detail than that. Yeah.
That's right. The listeners very, very confused at this point in time.
For anyone interested, I'm actually participating in a show called Everybody's Show. It's on the 8th of August at 7:30 p.m. at Transcendence Bar. It is who will run for the next comedy festival. It's a bunch of comedians putting forth their case why they should be the next CEO.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Kept that one from you.
Where is that again?
That's at Transcendence.
Okay, I think I'm free. That's a Saturday night. I'm free.
Excellent. I'll send you the details.
I've got something on the Friday and the Sunday, but yeah, okay. Yes.
It's a great lineup of different people.
Yeah, good.
Different. It's an open format, so you can do a PowerPoint presentation or whatever.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm cooking something up.
Oh, that's fascinating. Well, that's probably a good segue to you. Is Elliot Goblet or Jack Levi performing anytime soon?
Well, it's funny you ask that. Yeah, I've got a big show coming up on the 9th of August, Sunday afternoon, the 9th of August at 1:30 p.m. at the Ballarat Mechanics Institute. I know a lot of Melbourne people are going to go to this one because the headliner is Lawrence Mooney, who's probably the hottest comedian right now because of his appearances on the front bar.
Yep.
And I'm a support act, and the MC is a rising star MC, Marlena McPhillips. So, that is definitely worth the trip, and the tickets are a very reasonable price, and you can book that right now. The Ballarat Mechanics Institute, Sunday, the 9th of August at 1:30 p.m. is the show start.
Lawrence has an incredible career where he's put his mouth in it, shot himself in the foot, said inappropriate things, and he's still loved and wanted. Another comedian committing the same verbal crimes would have been cancelled many times over, but he's an incredible performer and lovable larrikin.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great stand-up act. And, of course, his 4 characters that he's had on the front bar are just surefire, solid laughter, and they're very different 4 characters, but I saw his live show at the comedy festival and had a good belly laugh, which is pretty good for me because, as you two know, I don't laugh too much when I watch other comedians, because I've seen it all.
Yeah.
But this guy really made me laugh.
No, he's great.
Fantastic. Well, I'm thirsty.
Get on the beers. That's appropriate. Just do it.
What have you got for us, Moz?
Well, Jack, do you head off to the South Melbourne market often?
Not often enough, mate, no.
Because you do live south of the river. This is a beer from one of the little boutique beer and wine in the South Melbourne market. It's called
Swords.
That's right.
Right.
It's from New Zealand and it is called Love Shack.
Love Shack.
Oh, Shack. Wow.
This looks like it's got to be in New Zealand.
Well, speaking of alcohol.
Aotearoa. Is that how you say it?
Oh, wow.
The way you say New Zealand, that's the Maori way of saying
Is it now?
New Zealand, correct. That's
Oh,
right.
well, I was going to say it looks like a cardiac infarction or something. That sounds rude.
Well, speaking of alcohol, I once had a bar named after me, the Elliot Goblet Bar. Mm-hmm. It was at a wonderful venue called the Rubber Chicken.
R.I.P. R.I.P. We'll bring it back eventually. Well, let's have a crack open. Well, firstly, is it $3.75?
It
is.
sure is.
Fantastic.
It's also a 2.1 standard drinks at 6.5% alcohol. It says, experience the experience. One of my favourite things to say. I think we had one recently that said that. And it says, made with big juicy hops from across the pond.
No, you can't beat big juicy hops anytime, can you, really?
From across the pond, so that'd be Australia they're referring to.
Hey, that's here.
That's right. So hops, as I got to learn, is that fruity flavour that you taste in your IPAs and your XPAs. People say, oh, it's very fruity. That's the hops.
I confuse hoppiness with, like, again, Vegemite. Tastes like Vegemite.
Who doesn't?
Is that a regular? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
That's the profile I'd give it.
We've just lost about half our listeners. So Vegemite, I don't know if you know this, but we get about, I'd say about 60% of our listeners are Australian, but a large percent are American. I think they're listening in just to see what insult we're going to give them this particular week. But so Americans, I think most Americans would have come across Vegemite.
Yeah.
In their Crocodile Dundee, The Castle.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other Australian references?
And Vegemite come too, out of Australiana.
There we go. Vegemite was actually founded just down the road from in South Melbourne, or Albert Park. So
Kraft, was it part of Kraft?
Well, it was a scientist that lived in a house, and he did it. He created the Marmite equivalent. It would have been based on the Marmite British equivalent, but he had his own little, little factory or probably a kitchen. Just off, I think it was Farrars.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, just near Farrars. That heads to the beach if you know that part of Albert Park, Middle Park, South Melbourne.
I've been there, yep.
Beautiful. So, yeah, good. No, I don't taste Vegemite at all.
No, there we go. See, that's like people who don't like coriander because it tastes like dish soap. I like coriander because it tastes like dish soap. Yummy. Fantastic. Yeah, good. I'm glad you agree. Sometimes I get a big bottle of water like that and a little bit of fabric softener, and I'll dip the end of a towel into it and just chew it because it's so tasty.
You too, eh? Yeah.
Was this because you had a potty mouth as a young child and then got used to the soap in the mouth from the mum?
My mum absolutely washed my mouth out.
More, mum, more.
Yum.
Soap poisoning.
Bit of history. On the 2nd of July 1983, Sammy J was born in Mornington in Victoria.
Yeah.
Good Victorian boy. He is a writer, composer, musical comedian, broadcaster. I mean, what isn't Sammy J doing these days? He's everywhere.
Everything to
man.
everybody, yep.
I particularly enjoyed his work with Randy Feltface.
Oh,
personally.
yeah. Brilliant.
Fantastic. On the 2nd of July 1947, Larry David was born in Brooklyn, New York. Larry David was the co-creator of Seinfeld with Jerry Seinfeld, and he later created and starred in Curb Your Enthusiasm, one of my all-time favourite TV shows.
Brilliant stuff.
And a fantastic meme as well. When something goes wrong or right, that they have.
Well,
that
there's
meme.
two different ones, actually. There's the wrong one that goes... And then there's the one where things are going right, where it goes...
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Those always play in my head, honestly. In fact, sometimes when I see something, I'll dun, dun, dun. It's just those three. That's all you need.
Any idea what Lily was just referring to there, Jack?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's a very, very good show.
Now, there's a man that went bald and went, no, I'm going to keep the sides.
I respect that. I don't mind the sides. I think as a woman, I don't mind the sides. I think it's okay.
He just reminds me of that character from Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Have you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He walks around and he's just, I don't think he has a talking bit, but he's cool for anyone that's kept their hair on the side. He's got this kind of, it's like headphones, but wraps around the back of the head.
He's not trying to be a model. He's trying to be a funny guy. So that's probably the reason, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Nothing funny about the comb over.
No. Very serious condition. On the 2nd of July 1973, British comedian Peter Kay was born in Farnworth, Lancashire. There you go.
Get it right.
Oh, I don't know. I've travelled about as far as Frankston and I don't know. I've got nothing.
Mount Eliza too.
That's probably the farthest I've travelled, Mount Eliza. He won Channel 4's So You Think You're Funny in 1997. His major works include Phoenix Nights, Max and Paddy's Road to Nowhere, and Peter Kay's Car Share.
Do you know this man?
Yeah. No, I haven't worked with him, but yes, I know him. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. And Back to the Future was released on the 3rd of July, 1985.
Great Scott!
Did you go see it in cinemas, Moz?
I think I did. Yeah, it was one of the best movies
Excellent.
ever made.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there's still Easter eggs in there that you go back and go, oh, I didn't even realise. Like the shopping centre or the car park where the movie begins, really. I think it's called Twin Pines Shopping Centre or Twin Pines Arcade. And then he goes back later on and it's One Pines shopping centre because he knocks over one of the pines when he arrives in the past.
Nice.
I must see the movie again and look at that specifically. Yeah,
it's very deep.
I really like that sort of writing, whereas these days you get a lot of after-the-fact writing where they're writing in, especially limited series and TV shows. And they've admitted, a lot of writers and producers have admitted, we didn't know what was going to happen at the end of each episode. We just make shit up and sometimes rewrite stuff depending on fan theories. So it's good to see something like Back to the Future back in 85 putting real Easter eggs in.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good planning.
We have a segment called I Don't Know If You Know This. And I'd love to know if you did or did not know this. So, Jack.
Yep.
Murray. I don't know if you know this.
I don't know if you know this, kids. Has it ever made you pause and think?
Toy Story 2 was almost deleted from existence and was only saved because of maternity leave.
To infinity and beyond!
Didn't know that. I just know that it was a huge box office success.
So in 1998, while the film was being made at Pixar, a junior editor entered a command that actually started wiping all of the files from the project. Associate Technical Director Oren Jacob later said that they watched the movie files disappearing before their eyes, which is very similar to that scene in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
3 commas.
They went to the system backup and were devastated to find that had also been wiped and had failed. So it was corrupted. They had no backup
Ouch.
at Pixar.
Yeah.
The film was saved because supervising technical director Galen Sussman had recently had a baby and she was working from home and she'd taken a backup home with her.
Right.
So they gave her a frantic call and they went in and Pixar picked up the computer, wrapped it up, took it into the studio, and the entire movie was built from her home computer.
Wow.
Crazy. Now, they ended up scrapping that original direction they went in. They ended up scrapping anyway. So all of this was for naught. They rebuilt the movie anyway. But still kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool.
Back up your stuff.
That's right.
Every time, yeah.
She could have stolen a pen, but she stole the computer instead.
Most people take a stapler.
Well done. 98. Just trying to think of the computer. So laptops were around. They were expensive, but they were around. But yeah, I think the average home would have had a desktop computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, desktop, yeah.
Yeah. Because your background prior to that 10-month explosion where you went from just a Jack Levi into an Elliot Goblet.
Yeah.
You worked for Telstra.
I did. I worked for Telstra, or Telecom as it was called then, yes. But I stayed with the job. See, I started in comedy in 81, and even though I got fame from 82 onwards, I stayed with the job until 87 because, it was pretty good. I was able to use their office and their air conditioning and phone and toilet paper and all that stuff. But I still did my job, but I had my overheads taken care of.
Yep.
But yeah, Jekyll and Hyde existence for 6 years until I gave it away in 87. In fact, I got out, amazingly, the day before the Queen Street massacre and was in that building that I was housed, 191 Queen Street. So that's freaky that I was out of there the day before that dreadful massacre.
Oh, a reminder. So I'm confusing the Hoddle Street.
December 1987. Yeah, Hoddle Street happened in August 1987. So it was quite a crazy year for massacres, is 1987.
What was the Queen Street massacre? Was that, it wasn't a car bomb, that was Hoddle Street?
No, Hoddle Street was the Julian Knight shooting out a lot of people.
Oh.
And Queen Street massacre was Frank Vitkovic going into the building and killing people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so those two. You had the Russell Street bombing that was something different.
Oh, I'm thinking Russell Street bombing. Yeah, that's right. That's the police.
Yeah. Well, we have a history lesson here from me.
Normally I bring the morbid details. I'm loving it.
History lesson. Massacres, 1987,
Now it's just exploding tobacco shops.
We've just got all the gyms near me getting firebombed.
Good comedy podcast.
Yeah.
Plenty
right.
of levity.
Look, all of that solemn conversation. I walk around the suburb of South Melbourne, Jack, and
I see you doing that a lot. Yeah.
yeah,
Painlessly. Sometimes, yeah.
with and without a dog. I even went to Bunnings last night with the dog. Nothing came out.
What a waste.
But thankfully, I had one up the sleeve. So it's called Funny in the Moments, where I walk up to or interact with a stranger or maybe someone in the community that I regularly meet. And I say something and try to get a reaction in that moment. Funny in the Moment is the name of this segment. The whole idea is not to be annoying or antagonistic. It's to get a smile out of a stranger. So a couple of days ago, I was walking to my local gym, MSAC, in Albert Park. It's a beautiful, big gym. And I want to say, I signed up 11 years ago. I got this gym deal that was incredibly cheap. Incredibly cheap. I then lived overseas for, it was going to be 3 years. I kept my membership going because I knew that if I cancelled it and tried to get back on, it would be at least double when I came back.
Wow.
Does my wife see the logic in that at all? No, she does not.
No respect at all.
Well, no, I do, but where is your break-even point? So for the entire time you were over there paying, good and well, now you should, you know what I mean? Like eventually you get to the point where the value makes itself back.
Yeah.
So do you know where that point is? Because I would sit down and work that point out.
112. I'll be 112 when I get that money back.
Yeah, but because you're going to the gym, you'll live to 112. So.
It's the point I'm trying to make.
Sure.
Is I'm saving money long term.
It's a very Larry David.
Anyway, I was off to that gym, MSAC, and there is a car on Cecil Street that is covered. You know, one of those cars that's got a cover over it.
Oh, yeah.
And you never know. You can make out the shape, whether it's kind of sporty, big or small. And
can I just say, when I've jumped into a car like that, it's always better to take the cover off before I start driving. I've just learnt that lesson. But anyway, back to you.
Yeah, you just learnt it, have you?
Yeah.
Is that your car out the front next to that tree?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Right. So the gentleman, as I was walking past, there was the car, seen the car many, many times, walked past the car, but the guy who owns the car was taking the cover off. So I kind of slowed down my pace, and I was very, very curious what was underneath this cover. And he pulls it off. It was a Honda. It was a Honda sedan. And I said to him in a big smile, I said, I was expecting a Ferrari. And he goes, they don't make Ferrari in white. So he kind of had a bit of back and forth. Like he would have got a Ferrari, but it didn't come in white. So he got the Honda instead. I don't know where he was going with that. Yeah. But we both had a laugh.
That's great.
And that was funny in the moment.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
To be fair, the best car I ever had was a Honda Civic V6, so I do understand.
A Honda Civic V6?
Yeah.
Are you sure it's a V6?
It was a V6.
They're about as big as this table.
It was not meant to have a V6 engine in it, let's put it that way.
Oh, it was like a, what do you call rice rocket?
Yes.
Yeah, right.
It was, that one was not road legal.
No, but I just on cars. My favourite car in the old days was a Hillman Minx with a Ferrari engine in it.
Oh wow!
So that was quite an anomaly. A Hillman with a Ferrari engine. That was my favourite car.
That was you owned it, or
I owned it.
Yeah. Hillman.
What colour was it?
Just a joke. Can't get a Ferrari. Oh, God.
A Hillman would be like a Valiant. Was that like same sort of genre? I don't even know.
Like a Vauxhall or something, just a daggy car.
Well, like a Honda Civic.
First car that I ever had, yeah.
Sorry, Jack. Now I know how my son feels when I make jokes and he
doesn't get them.
Them as we have not got them. Have you ever come out of character? You've gone into a shop as Jack Levi, had a moment and gone, I'm going to do an Elliot Goblet joke here, maybe get a reaction?
Not really, no. I've got Jack Levi humour that I use spontaneously when I go out, but I've had to use that a lot, particularly in the days when people would come up to me all the time to talk, I'd have to use humour to move on to somebody else. Like I used to get inundated by people when I'd go out. So if somebody was talking to me and I needed to make a move, I'd say something like, look, mate, I've got to push on. I need to give everybody else here equal time. Yeah. Or great rapping with you, mate. my friends won't believe me. Goodbye. Yeah, so I have to use Jack Levi type humour, and I had to a lot. I don't get recognised as much anymore because my appearance has changed dramatically, and I'm not on TV like I used to be. So those two reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people leave me alone now. They never did in the past.
Well, sure. The strangers leave you alone, but you're one of the most connected comedians in Australia, I'd say. I think you would, I dare say, you'd probably know every single professional comedian, or be at least 1 degree of separation from them.
Oh, yeah, and I've worked with just about everybody. Haven't worked with Kevin Bloody Wilson, but certainly have with ostentatious Rodney Rude and Vince Soretti and, the Dave Hughes, Lawrence Mooney, all the big names I've worked with except Kevin Bloody Wilson.
Right.
And Cole Elliott, haven't worked with him either.
Okay, okay. Kevin Bloody Wilson still gigging out there somewhere?
He is. I think he turns 80 next year. I actually was in Adelaide, and it happened to coincide with his one performance at the Theberton Theatre.
Yep.
And I watched that and went round backstage and had a chat to him and his wife and his daughter, who are all in the industry. His daughter was his support act called Jenny Taylor. That was her.
Oh, dear.
That was her performing name. So it was great to catch up with him. And he's a really sane guy off stage, as a lot of them are. When they're crazy on stage, they are quite sane and, normal off stage.
Yeah. It was
I know.
Jenny Taylor. Sounds like a drag queen.
Yeah, I thought that was a perfect drag name.
A bit of that interact, but very crude. Very crude.
Oh,
but they were a good double. She and her father. Real name is something else, but Kevin Bloody Wilson,
Has to be probably. Is there anyone older doing regularly doing work and stand up?
Well, Rodney Rude retired. He's early 80s. I think Kevin Bloody Wilson must be the oldest. I don't think Rod Quantock does too much work anymore, I don't think. Yeah, there's a lot of people have started with me, have given it away, which is unfortunate. But, really, if you can... It doesn't matter. Getting older, it doesn't hurt your comedy. You're not trying to be a model, but in fact, the older and craggier you look, the funnier you can look. Look at Rodney Dangerfield and George Burns, of course. I saw him in Las Vegas performing, and he was very funny. He would. He got a standing ovation when he came out, and then he asked us to sit down, and then his comment was, I guess you're giving me a standing ovation because you don't think I'm going to last till the end. Right. You're giving me one now. Yeah, so funny stuff. I think older comedians really. There should be more older comedians. There's too many young comedians.
There's
a tsunami of young comedians.
And I wonder if it is, as you're saying, a thing of not... similar with actors, I guess. It's a different season, right? So you have to maybe make a compromise for I have to play this way now, or I've got to relearn it all again. But I agree because, I'd love to see more comedians in their 80s. They'd also get all the young ones whose minds would be absolutely blown by all these concepts they've never seen before.
And keeping on theme with comedy, other than the show that you've got with Lawrence Mooney and friends, the other gigs that you do, you're an MC as well. If someone wants to get in contact with you and have you MC a wedding or an important event, maybe their 77th birthday perhaps, how do they get in contact with Jack Levi or Elliot Goblet for that matter?
ElliotGoblet.com.au is the way to go. ELLIOTGOBLET.com.au. That's the website, and you can make an inquiry through that. Yes, wedding MC work, birthday parties, corporate events, the odd sports club, and that's mainly what I do, apart from the odd public appearance.
Yes. And I just so the audience knows, Elliot Goblet, the name, it is a funny name. Is your middle name Elliot?
It is, mate, but the middle name's got an extra T. It's ELLIOTT. I wanted to make the Elliot Goblet Elliot different to give me a bit more anonymity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Separate the two more.
There we go. And Goblet just sounds funny, rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to think of a name, and I thought I needed something a bit strange but not too strange. And when I ran the name Elliot Goblet across a few people, they laughed, and I thought, I think I've nailed it, because they just laughed at the name.
That's great.
Awesome.
Well, I think that's it.
That's a wrap, I reckon.
Yeah. We will, you may see each other at the next event where you'll be pitching your credentials for the CEO of the Melbourne International Comedy Festival.
That's right.
We'll see if Sammy J, by the way, is on the board. So if he
Yes.
turns up, they might be taking this event quite seriously.
Well, I believe this event was organised by Blanco Laloa. Runs a lot of cool rooms and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really keen to pitch my shot.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Good
Who
luck.
knows?
Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure, and I can now tick this off my bucket list.
Well, thank you very much, Elliot Goblet, in that last moment. You have been on
This Week in Comedy.
No, I don't think so.
I employ that bloke for when gigs are going badly.
Incredibly rock and roll.
How would you put that? Be more entertaining. I'm glad you like that. I just did a little bit of weed.